It's the Cool Kids Club. You've been invited to the Cool Kids Club. It's so exciting, yeah. Justin likes monsters, yeah. And Amy likes words in the Cool Kids Club. Cool Kids Club.
Hey everyone, and welcome back to the Cool Kids Club. This is a very special episode we have for you today. Well, first of all, I am one of your hosts and one of America's Favorite Siblings, trademark pending. And my name is Amy.
Hi, Amy.
Hi, who are you?
I'm Justin. I'm the other one.
The other one, yeah. Yep. Mm-hmm. He is the eldest of America's Favorite Siblings. So really he came first.
But here's the thing. I'm not here to talk about me today.
Well, no.
I'm not here. Everyone knows who I am. The most important thing
is
that there's someone else here today.
Woo! There's someone else here. It is the 50th episode of the Cool Kids Club.
Yes.
It's also technically my birthday episode. This was a topic that I chose to do for my birthday, but also because our wonderful special guest who's here with us today wanted to do this topic with us. Everyone, please welcome Leilani.
Woo. Hi.
Woo, Leilani.
Hi, everyone.
Hi. So, we met Leilani through Instagram, through doing this podcast.
This is the first time we've ever had a guest that we we didn't know before the show. Yeah.
That's right.
So this is seminal. This is a very big deal, Leilani.
I'm really excited. I've got to say. I feel like I am seeing royalty right now.
Oh no. Lord.
I'm excited.
Oh no.
Oh, you're about to be so disappointed.
You're very disappointed. Yeah, we logged on today and I'm like, Leilani, I'm still in my pajamas. So
they're cute pajamas, you guys. They're cute.
Well,
they have a collar.
They do have a collar, like Ebenezer Scrooge.
Yeah, I took off my nightcap.
I was going to say nightcap with like a poof ball on the end.
Yeah. I set down my candlestick,
I feel like this episode came together and it was like kismet, right? Because we started talking to Leilani about coming on the show months ago, honestly, and we were like, all right, well, we'll get through the holidays and we'll do all this. And we tried to figure out what's a good topic, what's a good episode.
Yeah.
And then it all just kind of came together with your all's enthusiasm about today's topic, the timing of being able to get Leilani on the show. Plus, it ends up being our golden anniversary. Is that 50?
Exciting! Yes,
I think 50 is the
okay.
golden,
Well, it's our big anniversary episode, and plus I get to just hang back because I get to get schooled today.
That's
on
true.
Today's topic.
Yeah.
This is one of those episodes where you get to just hang back. It's like me with the wrestling episodes.
Yeah.
Sure.
Where Leilani and I will be doing most of the reminiscing,
The heavy lifting,
and the heavy lifting. And Justin will be, he'll be playing the role of maybe some of you guys who are not as versed in our topic today. What is our topic today, Leilani?
The Olsen Twins, Mary Kate and Ashley.
Mary Kate and Ashley. The grip that the Olsen Twins had on us,
y'all,
from at least 90 to 2005. I mean, wow.
Wow. Is right.
Wow. When I was going back and helped put together these notes, I mean, I just was like, holy shit. They were just, talk about ubiquitous. These girls were everywhere. They were in everything. And it is no wonder that today they are just like, nope. And they have absolutely...
Exactly.
They are not in the public
and there was
eye.
so much more than I even realized, being in it and being like a tween at the right time and everything.
Yes.
So much more than I even knew they were doing. So
yeah.
It's crazy.
So they were born, they were like a year older than me. Or not even.
Yeah, you got to think. That's what I was thinking. Like they're all they're all the same age as us. So I mean, we were kind of growing up with them. So like when they were doing little kid stuff, we were little kids, and when they were doing more the tween stuff, we were tweens.
Exactly.
So it was like perfect. Like I felt like I was growing up literally alongside of them. Because they're not even a full year older.
Yeah, like I was also born in 1986, so I think they're only a few months older than me. Yeah. So,
okay, yeah. They were born June of 86.
Yeah. So
they were born just a few days before April. Now that I'm looking at the dates here.
Oh God, they were.
Same
That's
year and
right.
everything.
So we were all right around that age. Leilani, what's your birthday?
October 10th, 86. Yeah.
Oh, October birthday.
Oh, I know. I lucked out with that one, didn't I?
That's the real bread and butter.
Eternally
isn't it?
jealous.
That's
Our
right.
mom has an October birthday, like the 26th, like real close to Halloween.
I mean, I
know
love.
that's the stuff.
I brag about it all the time. If I'm being honest, I'm like, well,
should.
I won the birthday lottery, didn't I?
yeah.
It's perfect. I can go to the pumpkin patch for my birthday. Like, you still have Halloween. It's so nice.
Oh my God.
I know. Not trying to
love
brag. Happy birthday,
Well,
Amy.
no,
But
I mean, you should brag. That's a pretty
We've got
If I had an
boring
October
ass winter
birthday,
birthdays
man,
We do.
in just
Yeah.
the
February and March. Yeah.
That's-
Why do you think we have to do podcast episodes about them? Because they're so boring and sad.
That's tough.
Yeah, Well, you and the Olsen twins, 86 babies.
That's right.
So yeah, we really were like growing up alongside of them, and I'm just like, God, these two were the hardest working bitches out there. Like, I mean, and I have to imagine that a lot of this was their parents doing.
I was trying to look up stuff about that too, like, because I couldn't remember. Yeah, I couldn't remember if there was like weird stuff about their family.
Like Macaulay Culkin as
Right,
drama.
yeah, like exactly. But I really didn't see anything specific other than like I did see one weird interview where their dad was quoted saying something like, "Yeah, I don't really know what the mass appeal is," and something about them being like monkeys where you could wind them up and they like do whatever they're told or something. It was a little
Oh wow.
odd. Yeah. So I don't
that
know.
is odd.
They acted
is
like they
weird.
really liked it though. So I'm gonna go with that.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know that that they were necessarily forced to do any. I mean, you have to think they were cast as Michelle Tanner at 6 months old.
That's crazy.
So they literally never knew anything but this life.
Right.
Like they started filming when they were about 9 months old, and of course, twins were cast, which is common nowadays, because of child labor laws. So you can't have a 9-month-old working, all these hours.
Right.
well
but of course,
they've always tried to do that in movies and television shows because
Yes.
it's a lot easier to manage.
Exactly. Like if you have a small, and I don't know what the age exactly is, but like they did it on Raising Hope. They had a set of twins who were playing Hope, things like that. So I'm not sure what the age limit is. Like you get to a certain age and they're like, all right, you got to do 14 hours a day at 6 years old. Like I'm not sure what
Sure.
when it becomes an issue. I was reading somewhere that on Full House, it was mostly Mary Kate.
Oh, really?
On Full House, that more than Ashley, it was Mary Kate. on Full
Interesting.
House. But
Now, can you tell the difference if I were to put on to pick a random Full House episode? Would you be able to tell me? Oh, that's Mary Kate. That's Ashley.
I can tell them apart when they're next to each other.
Yeah, I would say that too. Like, I think there's a definite difference when you're like looking at them. But
And
as
it's
far as
their eyes.
yeah, when they were really little, just seeing them on there, I don't think I'm that good.
No, I don't think I'd be able to tell.
No.
Now there are a couple of episodes of Full House where there's like a dream sequence or something, and they'll
Yes.
both be on. And yeah, I think I could definitely. Now by the time they were, middle school age, I think I could tell them apart a lot better.
Definitely.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, I guess we're already starting by talking about, I think everybody in the world knows that the Olsen twins got their start on Full House.
Yes.
So, and we've talked about Full House when we did our TGIF episode. So, I don't think we need to go too far into that, but of course, Mary Kate and Ashley were cast as Michelle Tanner, who was the youngest of the three sisters.
You got it, dude.
You got it,
You
dude.
got
She
it,
had a lot of
dude.
little catchphrases.
Just
she
charismatic
was-
as hell. I just remember them being.
I mean,
like,
she was adorable.
yeah.
how
Yeah.
did children
She
have this
really
much
was.
personality?
And Full House in general, I mean, whenever you go back and watch it, I mean, it's all the corn, but like, that was such a comfort show for me growing up. I mean,
Oh my God, yes.
I put that on
everything was
constantly.
wrapped up in 30 minutes.
I loved Full House so much. And like y'all's the Christmas tape and the Halloween
Yeah.
tape. I'm sure you had these too, but I had a lot of just like random VHS tapes, around, and I would always have these episodes. So there were a few episodes where I bet even now I could just like quote them because I would constantly put those tapes on and watch those same Full House episodes, over and
Oh,
over.
I love that.
got-
Like you could just like have your eyes closed and
Yeah, you're just like
recite the whole thing,
Yes.
every beat.
I was like
Yeah,
a
every
Stephanie
musical cue.
stan though. I loved Stephanie. Did you love Stephanie?
Me too.
She was the
Me
best.
too.
Especially as they
So
got a
it's-
little older, Oh, I loved
Yes.
her. Yeah.
I think that, and that's so strange because, like, so as we just said, like, we were the exact same age as Michelle.
yeah,
basically.
true.
And, but I think that, like, you kind of always, like, look up to, like, maybe who's a little older. And
True.
Stephanie's a couple years older. Now, I loved Stephanie, and I used to read the Stephanie books all
Yes.
the time.
I still have a
I
couple
had-
of them from when I
Oh
was
my
a kid.
God,
Yeah.
I do too.
Yes.
And anytime I find them anywhere, I'm like, I'm buying
Oh, for
those.
sure. Got to pick that up.
Yes, and I actually never read the Michelle books.
No, me neither. Never. Mm-mm.
Which is so strange because, like, she was the same age. But I felt like I related more to Stephanie.
That's true. I
And
love
DJ was just, like, so cool. I mean, DJ was... But DJ never had a book series,
her. Okay.
which I feel like is shitty. Like,
Yeah, that's a
why
little
did
weird.
DJ not get a book
She was too cool
series?
for
But-
reading.
Too cool for reading.
Obviously.
Yeah, I guess so.
She was like a little, like, maybe too old. Like,
And I guess that
Old-
was why
old
they
enough
were
to
like,
be
we're aiming these
intimidating.
books. Yeah,
exactly.
and we're aiming these books at elementary age
Yeah,
kids,
she
and
had
she's
like the
already in middle school.
boyfriend, and yeah, she was already like doing her thing.
High school
so I guess
high
that's
school
why she
girls
didn't
weren't
get
reading
a-
Full House books.
No.
No.
I mean, probably Leilani and I may have.
I,
Yeah. Maybe a Lizzie McGuire book by that point.
if we do that episode, I'm back.
Oh, you got to come back for that.
Yeah.
Oh, it will be happening.
Okay.
Yeah, that might be my next year's birthday.
Okay, let's plan that.
I'm going to think about that one.
Done.
You know what I think is really interesting is on Full House, like from seasons 2 through 7, which I think was the last season, they credited them as Mary Kate Ashley Olsen because they didn't want people to know it was twins. But I'm like, it's the cat's out of the bag. I mean,
Right.
people knew.
Two
They were doing all
twins?
kinds of
Oh yeah!
Two Michelles?
That would
I've
have
been
been
like,
my
where can I
reaction.
fit
My
that
brain
in?
my mind would have exploded. 2 Michelle's?
Oh my god! Because I remember in the first season, it does say Mary Kate and Ashley Olsen.
Okay.
And then from the second season on, they just do Mary Kate Ashley Olsen because they.
But
think they
also,
tricked people.
weren't
I'm
they
like, why?
becoming like a big cultural phenomenon
surely.
at that
That's what
point?
I'm
So
saying.
who the hell
While they
didn't
were
know
on
they
the
were
show.
twins? Because I mean,
That's
I wasn't
my
even a
That's so
particularly
true.
big Full House fan. I've watched my fair share.
But you
But
know who
I
they
can't
are,
remember
and
a
you knew they
time
were
not
twins.
knowing that they were twin girls.
They were
Like,
twins.
I
Yeah,
know,
come on.
So that's so strange.
Yeah,
who
that
do you
is-
think you're fooling?
Yeah, because it was 93. So and Full House went to 95. So in 93 is when their company Dual Star was created, and that's when they started making
just releasing
just
all
bangers.
Yes.
Oh my god, so much stuff.
So much direct to
So
TV.
yes,
Yeah, direct to video.
Definitely by season 5 or whatever, like definitely people knew because they were everywhere.
Yeah, all this overlaps like throughout they're constantly
there's
doing
lots
like
of-
so many projects at one time. So
Yes. I mean, they were clearly like the breakout stars of Full House.
very much.
Which is just crazy. And yeah, I mean, I don't know exactly. I mean, at that age, they couldn't have been making a lot of decisions for themselves. So I imagine that this was their parents
For sure.
who saw. I mean, they were the breakout star of Full House, and they thought, let's capitalize on that.
Yes.
I would have put my money on
And so-
Dave Coulier.
Really?
No, not really.
Cut it out. Yeah.
Cut it out.
That's right.
Exactly. Saw some pictures earlier. It was actually at Bob Saget's funeral. And Dave Coulier is looking great these days.
Oh, is he?
Don't know if
That's
you've
good
seen
to
old
know.
Dave. He's looking great. I mean, he's no John Stamos, but
Well,
Who is?
right, exactly.
who among us could be a John Stamos? Exactly. I mean, that man is
Just-
truly aging like a fine wine. But yeah, so during this time, when they started Dual Star,
Yeah.
they started the direct-to-video game. Like, this is when they were doing Adventures of Mary Kate and Ashley.
Yes.
Now, I am
They
unfamiliar
started
with
doing-
all of this, so
Okay.
okay. This
So,
is a
well-
direct-to-video television shows.
Well, yeah, they were like 30-minute episodes.
Okay.
So yeah,
Okay.
And they're all musical based. So
Well, naturally.
there's so many little songs.
and I'm going to
There's so
say
many
I
little songs.
I watched a couple of them yesterday.
Did you?
Yes, I did.
Thoughts on those?
Okay, so for the Adventures of Mary Kate and Ashley, I watched the first one because I remembered that from being a kid. I had this
Is that
VHS.
what is that one?
The Case of Thorn Mansion.
Thorn Manor. Yep.
Okay, I
was gonna
watched
say
that.
It's like a haunted house or something. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's a haunted house, and so basically they are Mary Kate and Ashley. They run a mystery agency, and
Yes.
they're trying to figure out like huge mysteries of the world, like the Loch Ness monster and Bigfoot, all the way to who took a bite out of Penny someone's sandwich. So it's like they're doing it all. But the episode, okay, y'all, these were so hard to get through. They're definitely for like small children. But I did remember all of these songs. I mean, I must have watched this like a trillion times as a kid because
Oh my gosh.
and also Elizabeth Olsen's in it as a little kid.
Yes, she is in a couple of episodes. Yes.
Yeah, and so it was cute, but oh my gosh, it's also extremely low budget compared to like what you may remember. So I can see how they were just like churning these out easily.
Oh yeah, I imagine they were just like jamming like 3 of them into a weekend. On
Oh,
her,
for sure.
You know, and then they went back to work for Full House. The parents were like, "Who care about child labor laws?
No, they were.
You kids are going to."
They
be
were
working
shooting
all
them, shooting them
weekend."
like Ernest commercials.
They were. They
We're gonna
just
get
like,
10 of them
"Let's
knocked
set
out
up."
this Saturday.
That's right.
Yes,
That's right.
yes.
Well, and even before the show, you had some direct-to-video movies that started.
Yes.
So, what was that first one? Was To Grandmother's House We Go,
Okay. Yes. Oh my gosh.
and that was like a Christmassy one.
Yeah, and I think maybe some of the Full House people are in that. If I'm not wrong, I'm pretty sure
I
that's
think
the
it
one.
was Jeff Franklin was the one who directed it or created it, which is the creator of Full House.
Okay.
So, I do think you're right. Oh gosh, who was in that?
I haven't watched that one in a long time, but I'm pretty sure. Yeah. So they're
think
still
there are
really
some.
young in that one.
Yeah, they're like 5
Yeah.
in that one. And they run away to go to their great grandmother's. Two 5-year-olds on the run. That is not safe. I mean, they were getting into all kinds of shenanigans.
I'm a little worried about how often we're going to be able to do the 2 thing because we're talking about twins.
I mean,
this whole
We might
episode's
break the
about
record
twins.
today. Yeah.
I
going
think we
for
are
it.
going to break.
We just gotta lean
someone
into
out
it.
there start tallying. Yeah.
Exactly.
So you had that one. You
Okay.
had double
Toil and Trouble. That is still a staple for my Halloween time. I always play
I've not
that
watched
one.
that since I was a kid.
You have to
And
watch that one. It's actually really good, especially for them being
Okay.
so young. It's really cute.
Yeah. Okay. And that one's got like a really complicated, like something about their aunts, and they need their aunt to say. There's in researching this, there's a lot of everything they do. There was like a dead mom.
Right, a lot,
Like,
a
including
lot
Full
of them,
House.
a lot of them.
A
Yes.
lot of them, it's like the twins with like a widowed dad.
And if they're not, it's
you know-
almost like their parents. They're not with their parents ever. You know, it's like they've
No.
somehow gotten away from them.
Now, is it a sort of
yes.
thing where they feel like you think they had to have like a love story subplot? So like, it's easier if it's like a single dad,
Probably.
you know, and we have a little
Probably.
subplot because we
Probably.
can't have 5-year-old girls, you know, in a love story with,
That would totally,
you know.
yeah. Because they're always trying
That's a
to
really good
set their
point.
dad up. Yeah, with someone.
Yeah, there's always some kind. I mean, really, there's several.
There's several. Yes.
Where there's a widowed dad. It's never divorce. It's always widowed
Right.
because, you know,
They started with Full House, and they were just like, let's keep that
started
going.
with Full House. Exactly. They were like, well, this is working.
You know what works great for us? Dead moms.
Dead moms works great. Yeah, and I actually just bought Double Toil and Trouble at an antique store on VHS.
Oh,
So I'm definitely gonna have to go to Justin's this Halloween time, and we're gonna have to watch it on his
Please.
VCR.
yes.
Yeah.
I want to hear about
Yes.
that.
So yeah, you had a couple of these going on,
Mm-hmm.
and then I think the third one was How the West Was Fun.
Right. And that one had a widowed dad.
Yes, this one had a widowed dad too. And they were trying to like save the ranch, their family ranch or
Right.
something.
I can vaguely remember it, but this one wasn't one that I like always went to or anything.
Yeah. Yeah. But these were going on like at the same time as they're doing these Adventures of Mary-Kate and
Yes.
Ashley. And then you had the You're Invited to Mary-Kate and Ashley's.
We're calling everyone, we're putting out the welcome mats. I've got the tune, I've got the food, we've got the party hats. We've got everything we could ever need. A real good time, yeah, is guaranteed. So jump up and put on your dancing shoes. With hosts like us, there's no way you can lose. It may get crazy when things start to roll, but never fear, the twins are in control. You're invited, come on, we've got a lot to do. You're invited, we're excited and delighted to see you. You're invited, bring your friends along, laugh and sing a song. The party's about to start. You're invited, you're invited, you're invited, you're invited. If it's up to me, you'll RSVP.
I watched one of those too.
Which one did you watch?
Okay, I watched the fashion party. So with those, it's really weird because they start whenever they're young. It looks like it's like 95 to 2000. So, I mean, that's like a
Yes.
big gap of time for their
But only
age.
10 of them.
Yeah, there's
There
only
were
10.
only ever 10. Yeah.
Yeah, so like actually the beginning song, I wasn't as familiar with these. Like I immediately knew that entire The Adventures of Mary Kate. I was like singing the entire song. But this
Now,
one,
that theme song is a banger.
it slaps. It does. It's so
slaps.
good. It still does.
Who stole the Great Hope Diamond? What killed the dinosaurs? Who makes the finest pizza? What's in your brother's dresser drawers? Mysteries of life, screaming to be solved. Here we stand in our trench coats, dying to get involved. We're super duper snoopers, first class private eyes. Figure outers, clearer uppers, mistresses of disguise. We've got the know-how, we got the knack. Now all we need's a case to crack. We're two super duper snoopers, give us a mystery. We need a mystery.
Also, the tagline. What was the tagline?
We'll solve any crime by dinner time.
Yes!
Hello. And at the end of the episode, they were like, it's almost dinner time. So we've got to wrap this up.
They've got to wrap it up. Mom's ringing
but
the
the-
dinner bell. Yeah.
Exactly.
Or widowed dad, whichever one. Probably widowed dad.
Probably.
Dad's new girlfriend's ringing the dinner bell.
You're invited though. So I watched like one of the last ones. So I think
Okay.
it was in 99. So they're a little older. I
Okay.
wanted one. I also watched Passport to Paris. I know we're going to get into that. But so I wanted one around that time. So,
Okay.
but okay. It was fashion party. So I thought,
Okay.
oh, you know, but it was a
Yeah.
little more like they were going to fashion school trying to, as 12-year-olds.
As 12-year-olds do.
Right.
What 12-year-olds are not going to New York Fashion Week. Yeah.
Exactly. Yes.
Yeah. That makes sense. So were these also low budge? I feel like they were
Very
kind of-
much, very
yeah.
much. And it looked like they maybe rented out some school and they had a couple random actors that were so bad, like staring at the camera too long, and it was just awkward.
Oh my
These
God.
were a little like the ones, the Adventures of Mary Kate and Ashley. They're so
Yeah.
small that when they're singing and doing
Yeah.
it works, like it's cute.
Oh, so when they're like 12 and 13, I imagine.
It was a
cringy.
little, because they're not singers, and so they were. You
No.
could tell they were like, okay.
Okay, we're done with this.
We're done with
trying
this.
to
So I think
move
there's
on.
there's only like 2 when they're getting to be like tweens,
Yeah.
Yeah.
They definitely. So there's only 11 episodes of Adventures of Mary Kate and Ashley.
I was really surprised because
I
I feel
was
like
so
that was
surprised.
huge for me.
And you know what? I think it's because of the books. And we'll go.
Okay.
I kind of separated. We'll talk about all the book series
There's-
later, but there's a book series for pretty much everything they ever did.
that's so crazy because also I know we're going to talk about this later, but there's just so much and it all like intertwines with each other.
Yes, absolutely.
But I was really looking up their Barbies and stuff, or their fashion dolls or whatever.
Yes.
And there are so many, like, just like the book series for like every single movie that they ever did. Basically, there's like a set of Barbies. Yeah, it's wild. I just didn't know they had so much.
Is this going to kickstart a Mary-Kate and Ashley collection for us, do you think?
It's bad. It very well might.
I would love to collect some of the books. I will say that. But not before I collect all the Stephanie Full House books.
I need all of them, yes.
Now,
full set.
I have to ask you, Leilani. So you have some, you said you have some of the Stephanie books. Do you also collect some, like, do you have Babysitter's Club or like any of those? Do you ever read them?
Okay,
or
I
do you
did
just
read.
Kind of like keep them.
I really just keep them, but I did read one. Like, I'm a Claudia for Babysitter's Club. By the way.
Okay.
And I'm very. That's a very important part of my personality. Okay, I just need everyone to know. Okay. And so,
by the way, I completely see that because you're very.
Thank you. That makes me feel good. Thank you so much.
Yes.
So I did get Claudia's, like, they have certain books that are just about them. Like, it's actually like the Portrait of Claudia or something.
Yes.
I read that one, which was really sweet, and it talked about her Mimi and stuff. But that's the only one that I've ever reread. But I do have a lot, and I have a lot of Goosebumps and just random Saved by the Bell books and, like, anything I can find. Yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
So.
I have wanted to the last year or two, and then I just haven't. But I have some like some of the Halloween or Christmas like super specials, like a Babysitter's Club, or that I've wanted to read at those times a year, and I'm like, I got to make
that
priority.
would be so fun. Yeah.
No, I definitely read like a Wishbone book like 2 years ago, and I just gotta say, when are we doing a Wishbone?
I know how you feel about Wishbone.
It's on March Madness.
Yes, I saw that.
It is on March Madness, guys.
There's a chance.
So you're telling me there's a chance?
There's a chance.
There's a chance. There's a chance.
It's got stiff competition.
I know we've gone very far. We've got. Yeah,
I know.
It does. We've gone very far from Mary-Kate and Ashley, but we were just talking about the books and how many books there are. So yeah, there's only 11 episodes of The Adventures of Mary-Kate and Ashley. There were only 10 episodes of You're Invited.
Now, I'll tell you one of the, being someone who, outside of just like, I remember Full House and I remember them being a thing, I don't remember a whole lot specifically about them. One of the first things I think of, and I'm guessing it is from this You're Invited to Mary-Kate and Ashley's series, is that pizza song. Do you remember that viral P-I-Z-Z-A? Yeah. And then there was like a viral video several years ago where like someone had to like slowed it down a certain amount, and it just became just like out of it was
like terrifying.
It was terrifying. Yeah. So one of the first things, if not the first thing, I generally think of when I think of the Olsen Twins is P-I-Z-Z-A.
I'm gonna have to look.
In fact, Amy, you should probably put a clip of it in right here. See what I mean, guys?
You got it, dude.
You got it, dude.
In fact, you got it, dude. Yeah, I just, I didn't have any of these specials, but my best friend growing up, whose name was also Amy, there was one, she had the SeaWorld episode of Adventures of Mary-Kate and Ashley.
Yes, the SeaWorld. Yes.
I don't remember the title of it. Probably something about Shamu. I don't know. But I remember like every time I would go to her house, we would watch that. And I would check the books out of the library. So I feel like I was more familiar with the books than actually watching the shows, because like the only way to get them was to buy the VHSs.
The VHS, I only had like one or two of the VHS, but I remember the books too. Like I always loved like a mystery book as a kid, like the little mysteries. Those were fun.
And it was very much, it was like a Nancy Drew, but
definitely
modern, because it's the Olsen Twins and you're so familiar with them and you already love them. The You're Invited, I don't think I've ever seen any of those.
You're not missing much. No. That was not. We're not in like the prime time yet.
Not
so
in
we're
the
getting
prime.
there.
Yeah.
We're getting there.
Yeah. That's very interesting. So yeah, you had like they were still on Full House when these things started, at least. Because like you said, the year invited that went until 2000. And Adventures of Mary Kate and Ashley was till 97. But I guess they were just like sporadically filming and releasing these throughout that time, because there really weren't a lot of them.
What a brand.
That's
Television,
they were
video, movies, books.
And
It's
then
crazy.
later on, just everything else.
Yeah.
I mean,
It's
so much. We'll talk about,
exploded. Yes.
absolutely. And it's like, yeah, you think like, oh my God, they're everywhere now. And then it's like, oh shit, wait till they're like 12. And then it really kicks into high gear.
Yes.
And
Okay, but this next movie though.
Okay. I was going to say, can we talk about
Okay.
It Takes Two?
Perfect.
Listen.
It Takes Two, y'all.
I have been
This
wanting
movie?
to rewatch this for a while now. And
Okay,
today
first
might
of all, I have
actually
to
be
ask
the
you.
day. Yes.
Please watch it. Okay, I have to ask you. This
Okay.
is very important. Okay.
Okay.
I think I know your answer, but
Okay.
were you more of a Mary Kate or an Ashley? Because I think everyone, had to pick one.
I think that I think I was probably an Ashley who wishes she was more of a Mary Kate.
Okay, that is like my exact answer.
Oh my God.
I cannot. I like have that written down right here. Okay,
What
because
did you think that I was going to say, Mary Kate?
I thought Mary Kate because I know,
Yeah.
just from listening to the podcast, the vibes that I've.
Well,
gotten.
and maybe I am more of a Mary Kate, and I just don't have the confidence to say I'm a Mary Kate. But I feel like I'm more of an Ashley.
I'm just hanging back watching you guys become best friends.
Okay.
Oh yeah, it's happened.
Did we just become best friends?
Did we just become best friends? Exactly.
But yeah, I think like everyone that's familiar with Mary Kate and Ashley know that there was kind of like a distinct thing in a lot of these, like from like now on, I would
Yes.
say a lot of these movies and TV shows that kind of Mary Kate was always played as like the sporty twin and Ashley was kind of always the girly twin. And I think
Yes.
especially in It Takes Two, because it's like a take of what is it? The Parent Trap or something.
Yeah,
like
it's a
that.
bit of a Parent Trap. Yeah, with
So they switch.
the great Steve Gutenberg
Goot.
This is a great movie.
and Kirstie Alley, right?
Yeah, Kirstie Alley's
The
in there.
late
Yeah,
great Kirstie Alley.
that's right.
Yeah, and yeah, they're like setting their parents up, right? Because they
Right, it's like
are-
they each randomly don't have one of the parents, of course, and
Yeah.
Yeah,
and they're twins, and like they don't know that they have a twin. And of course, Mary Kate, I think, is like the standout. I mean, she's like the really cool one that like is she at like a children's home or something weird?
Yeah, one
And
of them is like in an orphanage kind of thing. Or
that's
something.
like that's Mary Kate, right? And she's
think
like
so.
the sporty one, and she's really into baseball, and she always has the baseball cap on backwards.
Yes. Mary
Which I-
Kate was always like, she was a bit of a Christie from Babysitter's Club. She was always like
That's
a
in
bit of
my
a
notes.
Tom. Oh
That-
my God.
You already know that's in my notes. Because I was gonna say that was such a thing. I feel like in
Yes.
like the '90s, early mid '90s, was like
Yes.
the girl that they always had, that sporty girl. And I always not in Babysitter's Club necessarily. I was the Claudia. We've already said that, but like Spice Girls. Like I
Yeah.
loved Sporty Spice, and like I still don't know why. Nothing against Sporty Spice, but like I did not like sports, so I have no clue like why
No,
that
me
was a
either.
thing.
Me either.
But just like Alex Mack,
Yes.
girls like that. Yes, there's always those girls with the the flannel and the baseball caps
And the overalls, the short overalls.
I always loved that. Like
yeah, it's
I have
the
no clue
tomboy
why.
look. It's
It
the
is.
tomboy
It was a
look.
grunge. It was a
It is.
grunge thing too.
It was a grunge
It totally
thing.
was. Yeah, it was
Yes.
the time.
And that's the thing is, it's like I think that I wanted to dress like that, but it felt like a poser because I didn't actually play any sports and I was terrible at sports.
Right.
So
I was
like,
definitely the other way, but I just thought it was so
definitely
cool.
like, and that's interesting because nowadays, like, I feel like my fashion is split between being like feminine and dressing like Mary Kate Olsen.
There you go,
like,
yeah.
I feel like I feel like some days I'm like, I want to dress like Alex Mack. And then
Right.
some days, I want to
Style
dress like
icon.
Ashley Olsen. So,
Yes.
I mean, you just never know.
We
I
can
don't
have
know.
it all.
I think we're Mary Kate's and Ashley's, Leilani.
I think we
that
are.
it's
You
two
know?
sides of our personality.
Who am I, guys?
That's right.
Yeah.
Oh.
Oh, Justin, who would you be?
I literally don't know, so I'm asking.
Would you be an Elizabeth? Maybe you're Elizabeth Olsen
I don't know. Am I?
of Marvel
She's
fame.
she's the true breakout star, right?
I mean,
she can
she
actually
is.
act. Like she's really
She's
good.
great. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you're just now learning this, Elizabeth Olsen, Scarlet
right.
Witch in Marvel movies, is their younger sister.
Yeah.
Which is crazy. But no,
is
yeah,
crazy.
she's excellent. Like she's, and with the Olsen twins, it's like, it's not that they couldn't act. It's that I feel like they were just brought up in a very particular kind of acting. Like if you're
That's true.
learning how to act on Full House, you know what I mean? Like you're not ever, and they were just, they were just kind of, they became this huge brand and this is what they did. And like,
It was always like what is that, like the situational comedy kind of things where
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
they're reacting to like goofy things and stuff. I
it's
think
all,
that
it's
is like,
played very big.
yeah, that's always how it was. So it's going to like naturally come off like corny kind of,
Yeah. And I mean, by the time they probably were old enough to, if they even wanted to like choose more serious roles, they were so burnt out, I'm sure. They were
Oh,
so
yeah.
burnt out that they were just like, I don't want to act anymore. Like, this is literally, I've been doing this since I was born.
I would do the same thing they did. Like just
No, yeah.
go
They just
off.
made,
have your money.
$500 billion or $1 million or whatever it is. And then they were just like, okay, bye.
Yeah.
I'm just going to
Sure.
go. I mean, they do, we'll talk later about, them as adults and stuff, but
Yeah.
they do like have a fashion line and stuff, but they are not in the public eye. That is not their thing.
Definitely.
And they're both just kind of a couple of little weirdos, and I sort of love that.
They are. Yeah.
They are just a couple of little weirdos.
Just a couple little freaks.
Just a couple of little freaks. It's true.
I mean, I feel like you would be too if you got like completely robbed of your childhood. Like that's some like Michael Jackson shit, right?
It
Yeah,
is
very
for
much.
sure.
And that makes me sad, to think
For
I'm
sure.
like, they were such a big part of my childhood. But then when you think back, and I'm like, what
They
was
didn't.
their
They didn't
childhood
have one.
like? They did not
That's
have
so
one.
true. Yeah.
They did not have one. I mean, they were working They had to have been working constantly.
Clearly, yeah.
Yeah, it's just a lot. And I mean, they probably never went to real school, never had that experience. So, yeah. So I imagine they're just like trying to find some peace as adults, and I hope they, they find that. But
anyway, it takes two.
Going back to all the amazing content they created for us, thank you, Mary Kate and Ashley.
Thank you. Thank you.
I'm sure they're listening. With It Takes Two, I've seen it one time, and it was in theaters. I have not watched, which is why I'm dying to rewatch it. Well, I guess maybe I've seen it one other time as a kid, but I just remember the one time. It was right before Justin and I moved to Tennessee from Florida. And my friend Amy, who I mentioned, who was also a Mary Kate and Ashley stan, we, mom was like, could you go hang out with your friend like one last time, so we had a little play date or whatever you'd call it. And Amy's mom took us to see It Takes Two.
Oh.
And I literally, I remember we moved. I always remember that we moved on November 25th because it was Thanksgiving Day that year. So that's why I've always remembered the date. And so I literally went to look and I was like, I wonder if I'm remembering this right. When did that movie come out? It came out November 17th of that year. And I was
my
like, we must
gosh.
have literally gone and seen it opening weekend.
Wow. I love memories of going to the movies as a kid. That was like so like magical. It's just
Because it
different,
wasn't very often,
It
and
wasn't, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, it was so magical.
That's
And
special.
that is one of my big memories. And in fact, I think the first movie I ever saw in theaters, which I think we've talked about on here before, was with my friend Amy, and it was Beauty and the Beast.
Oh, that's so fun.
Yeah,
That's
that's
so
the first one I remember at least.
I definitely had It Takes Two on, VHS. So I watched it
clamshell.
a lot. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Mm-hmm. Do you have you watched it recently?
Not recently.
Okay. Do you think it still holds up? Because I mean, this was this is a theatrical. This was no.
I think it
direct-to-video.
does.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think this one is one of the best ones that they've ever
Yeah.
made. For sure.
Now, I think maybe we should do a double feature of this and the 90s Lindsay Lohan Parent Trap.
Oh. Okay.
I mean, just a lot of
Write
parent
these things
trapping.
down. Yes,
Yeah.
this is good. This is good.
2 Parent Trap movies.
Yes.
Anyways,
Anyway.
yes, got another one in. So by this point, that movie came out in '95, which was right like the same year Full House ended. It was a couple months later.
Right.
So they kind of aren't. They aren't doing a lot for like 2 years. Like they've got like Adventures of Mary-Kate and Ashley is still going on, and
Right.
You're Invited, but I guess there's just like a couple of those a year. And then they get a new series in 1998.
Right.
And I don't know if you watched this. I remember watching this when it was they would do the reruns on ABC Family all the time.
Okay, yeah, I definitely remember this one. Yeah.
Yeah, and this was Two of a Kind.
2 of a Kind. Yep.
Go ahead, Justin, do it.
2 of a kind?
We were waiting.
I was waiting for it.
Okay, I couldn't find this one to rewatch an episode of, but I did look at clips. Online.
Is this not on YouTube? Because I know the next one is YouTube.
I couldn't find like full episodes, but may have been me. But what I thought was really weird is that their names are Mary-Kate and Ashley.
Yes.
Yeah,
They don't change their names in this one, yeah.
I was surprised because they always have kind of random cool names, like
they
Chloe
always have
and
cool girl
Riley, or like cool names. But they were Mary-Kate and Ashley. I was like, oh my god,
Yes.
this is wild.
What would be an example of a cool girl name in the 90s?
Riley.
Chloe.
Yeah.
Riley, Chloe.
Chloe.
Okay.
Yeah, those are
names
cool
like
girl
that.
names. Yeah.
Very fun.
And what did they have in this show? A widowed
A
dad.
widowed dad.
Oh shit.
They sure did.
They sure did.
Has
And,
anyone considered that they might be murdering their mothers? It keeps happening.
Someone should check on their real life mother.
It
Is she
keeps
still alive?
happening. Like, I mean, I'm sorry, but death
There's
follows.
a track record here.
Death
I mean,
follows
what's
these
going
little
on?
Village of the Damned girls.
I know it.
Yeah, this
They're
is
like-
one of those where it's like they're polar opposites and they're kind of
That-
coming
yes.
together to try to like set their dad up or something with
Yes.
their babysitter or
Okay,
something
so
like
it's
that.
their baby. So the dad is a college professor, and I mean we're assuming like probably 30s, mid 30s or whatever.
Right.
How old's this baby?
He's widowed. He's widowed, of course. And there's a student in his class who's like older. She's like 26. She's like going
Okay.
back to school.
Okay.
And he kind of asks her like to be the girl's babysitter. So she becomes like their babysitter. But then there's also like a will they, won't they? And I'm like, that's weird. Because I
Right.
know she's older, but she's a student.
His student. Yeah, I remember that.
Maybe
Maybe
it's
it's like
in
a
a ropes.
former student or something.
Love
I don't know, but
it.
that's how he meets her. Is he has her
Right.
in class. And I remember she was like really tall and had red hair.
Okay.
And was very like cool girl herself. Very cool, like late 90s girl.
I love it.
Yeah.
One of the clips that I watched, 'cause I was only seeing like little bits, but okay. I think it was just Mary Kate's room, but I do just want to comment on the rooms because I feel like they always had amazing bedrooms all the way back in
Amazing.
Full House when they shared with
Yes.
Stephanie. Like,
Yes.
that was so huge for me. I was like always just like
I know.
wishing,
Yes.
But this one was really cool. Mary Kate was in the attic, and it was like one of those like that have the ceiling is like coming down and at like
slanted.
angles and
I
stuff.
love that.
Yeah, and I couldn't make out all the posters, but she had Justin a Titanic poster on the wall.
What?
So I had to
Because
make
she's
a
not a
note.
girly girl. She's into
No.
shipwrecks.
She's in
Right.
She's into shipwrecks.
Exactly.
She's
If
not
I had
like
known
other
that,
girls.
she'd have been the girl of my dreams back in 1998.
Yeah.
A girl who's into the Titanic and not the movie.
Right.
Yeah, because in 1998, I was very into the movie.
Right. Who wasn't?
But she had a Titanic, not a movie poster, like a ship.
Yeah, well, I
poster?
couldn't exactly tell, but it didn't. I mean, it wasn't the best
wasn't
quality,
the
but
movie.
there wasn't Leo on it or Kate or anything.
Yeah.
So
Well, it was
we're
some
gonna
big ocean
say-
liner.
Right, we're gonna say it was the Titanic.
It'd make more sense than her having like a Lusitania poster.
That'd have been a deeper cut, much deeper cut.
That's a World War I ref for you guys.
They did always have great rooms. And I think when we talked about maybe the TGIF episode, we talked about like best sitcom houses and like where we'd want to live. And I think I chose the Full House. I loved the two staircases.
The titular Full House.
The titular Full.
I love the two staircases too. Like
Yes.
it just seemed amazing walking in on one side of the house, you know,
And then
and
you
coming
could,
down.
you knew, yeah.
And Joey, like he had that like basement kind of thing
he had like the
downstairs.
hangout.
That was so cool.
And then when Becky married in, and then it was
they had the attic.
they had
thing
the attic
or whatever.
space, and I just
Yes.
remember the girls' room because remember it was Michelle had the single room because she was a baby at first,
Right.
And DJ and Stephanie shared, and then eventually DJ got to move into the single room and be like a
Exactly.
teenager, and they moved Michelle and Stephanie shared a room,
Loved it.
and
loved
that
it.
room was like
It was
Goals.
amazing. Yes, goals.
Yes.
So yeah, I'm
That
always
did just
taking
continue
note of
on.
that. Yeah,
Justin,
definitely.
what is your fate? Like, if you could remember, like, a sitcom or even just any television, like a room. Like, were you that way where, like, you were like, oh my God, that kid's room is so cool. I want that to be my room.
Yeah.
Do you remember any?
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, while it was a girl's room, I feel like it wasn't like a particularly girly room. Not that there would be anything wrong with that, but one that stands out for me is like Clarissa.
Oh, Clarissa had a banging room.
Right.
Yeah.
Don't even. Yes,
Yeah.
that's another that I very much identify with. Is
Arnold.
Clarissa.
Arnold
Like,
from Hey Arnold.
Arnold.
Oh, yeah. Arnold had the best room. Because didn't he
had the
have, like, that
They
big
have the big
window?
like skylight thing.
Skylight.
Yes.
Yes. Oh, Arnold had a great room.
Yes.
So cool.
Oh, man.
Those are
Yeah,
two
they
great
really,
ones.
they just knew how to do it. Those set
They really
designers.
did.
Thank you to those set designers. But this one, I think it's so strange because this aired on ABC as part of TGIF.
Right.
It was their first show since Full House had ended,
Yes.
but it only had 22 episodes and got canceled.
Yep. Got canceled after the first season, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, which is so strange to me. But when ABC Family started running it in reruns, again, like the next show we're about to talk about, it gained a lot bigger of an audience, I feel like.
And that's when I feel like we were probably watching it mostly,
yes,
you know.
I probably I maybe caught a couple episodes on TGIF, but
Right.
but it was definitely on ABC Family. And this also, of course, had a book series, and we'll talk about that
yeah.
later, but it ran way longer than the show ran. Because I think there was just such a renewed interest in it because of the reruns on
Exactly.
ABC
Yeah.
Family. So they were like, okay, well, we'll just keep making these books then, and then we can kind of keep telling the story without, having a show.
Right.
Yeah. And then their next one was also very short-lived, had a couple more episodes, and that was So Little Time. Did you
So
watch
Little
this
Time.
one too?
Yeah, I actually kind of remembered this one more than the other one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now this one, they are literally Riley and Chloe.
Right, and that's why, because I just watched this. Yeah, I watched the first episode, and
I'm gonna guess because I can't remember. Was Mary Kate Riley?
Mary Kate was Riley, yep.
Yeah, that
and
seems
you
right.
could tell them apart because she always had like straight hair with a little flip, a little flip at the end. And Riley had like the tiny beach waves, and this is when
Yes.
the fashion was in full focus. Like I'm
Yes.
telling you, it was incredible. There was a lot of long duster coats.
Dusters.
Remember
yes,
the dusters?
with like a one tie, like
Oh yeah, maybe a little fur around the collar and the arm.
this was peak Y2K.
Oh yeah, there was
like-
some platform flip flops, like
So,
foam.
so Gen Z should be taking note because isn't like
Gen Z
Take
should be
note.
Y2K
taking-
Just watch
fashion's
So
kind
Little
of having a
Time.
resurgence, right? As
Oh,
yeah.
big time.
Yeah.
And you know
Lots of
what? I think if they
chokers.
want to commit completely, they need to overpluck those eyebrows.
That's right. Put some Dream Matte Mousse on. Did you ever use that?
Oh my Jesus, Dream Matte Mousse. Yes, it was
Just bright
It
orange.
was basically like putting orange spackle.
Yeah, it's so
It
thick.
was so thick. It's a mousse, literally. Might as well
Why?
just chocolate. Why did we do that?
I was like 14. Like, why? Why was that a
I
thing?
know my perfect
sure.
baby skin. I was like, let's put this orange. They need to start putting sun in their hair, even if it's as dark as mine.
Definitely.
Because it will turn orange.
Like, if you're committing, you need to commit. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
right.
I need you
Do
all
it,
to
cowards.
do not fill in your eyebrows, but please wear blue eyeshadow.
And for the guys, we need like some, gelled, just straight up hair with maybe a little blonde in the tip.
Was
I
it
was
say
gonna
frosted tips? Right.
Frosted
Gelled
tips.
frosted tips.
Definitely.
Yeah, just commit, you cowards. Yeah. Don't be like, oh my God, we're going to do flares and chokers. No.
I was thinking
No.
of kind of redoing my look in the vein of like the Crazy Town, the guy from Crazy Town.
Oh,
the
that's it.
Like
Yeah.
the butterfly video. I'm thinking eyebrow ring.
Yes.
You
Yes.
found your style. That's
Look
the
a
way
Mark
to go.
McGrath.
Yeah.
Like, you should look like Mark McGrath.
Right. That's what we're
that
all
should be
striving
it.
for.
It shouldn't be too hard for me to
No.
pull off.
No.
So Little Time absolutely had, oh my God, just the best fashion. And
best.
and I just looked back on it was a lot of like baby blues and pinks and purples.
So cute. And one note I had, there was two kind of love interest kind of things, like
Yeah.
a pest kind of guy
Yeah.
that loved Mary Kate, and then like the hot guy that didn't give Ashley the time of day or whatever.
Yeah.
But both of their shorts were like suspiciously long. Like they were more like capris. they were almost to the ankle, but they were shorts. I mean,
That
it was
was
the
the look.
weirdest thing. Yeah, it was odd.
Like that picture of
That
Kevin
was the-
Smith at the gas station.
They're basically like culottes.
Culottes, exactly. Yeah, I was like,
Basically like culottes.
All
That's
right.
what it's frosted tips and it's culottes for guys.
that's what it is, yes.
Well, I didn't have frosted tips either. I was gonna say I don't recall ever wearing culottes.
I mean, wow. They both had them.
Well,
I could do Jinkos.
Jink, well,
they were basically Jinkos, but you just cut off like a foot of them.
yeah,
and
no,
they were
little
like, now wear
tighter.
shorts.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Another thing about this show though that I didn't really remember was that there's like fourth wall breaks. So they both just
Really?
talk straight to camera. Yeah, a bunch. So I did not remember
Interesting.
that.
I
Yeah.
don't remember that either.
Yeah, it was
Oh, that's
Yeah.
interesting.
kind of
Now,
like Zach from Saved by the Bell, that kind of vibe.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Now I watched the opening credits to this, and it gave me like OC vibes.
Totally,
'Cause
like on the
they are-
beach, walking
'cause they
barefoot.
are like, yes, they're walking barefoot on the beach. This one is set in like LA or like on the in California.
I think it was
or
like
something.
Malibu. Yeah,
Malibu,
and
that makes total sense.
their
yeah.
parents are both fashion designers, but they're like divorced or something. So they kind of
Yes.
have that one parent dynamic again with
Yes.
this one. Yeah.
And they have like a live-in like
Nanny.
housekeeper, nanny, Manny. Probably.
yeah, I think his name's like Manuel or something
Yeah,
like that. But
yeah.
he's like the comedic
yes
guy. Yeah.
Yes. I don't remember watching this one as much as Two of a Kind.
Okay.
But I do remember it, and it also kind of reminds me of What I Like About You, because that was like the same with Amanda Bynes.
right.
I feel like
mhm.
that was the same era of like fashion of like very early 2000s. That is
Definitely,
just,
yeah.
Oh my God, I'm
my gosh.
so nostalgic for it. I am
Oh,
so nostalgic for it.
yeah,
And I did not have the
tried.
body type for it then, and I don't have the body type for it
Okay,
now.
that's like one
But
of the biggest things is like I look back and I was not fully invested in it at the time,
Yeah.
and then you look back now and you're like, man, it's just so cute. And I try my best now, but it
Yeah.
I'm 36 years old. So
Yeah, when I put cute accessories in my hair and I can see all the grays, I'm like, this makes me feel very old.
Like,
I'll
okay.
put a cute headband on, and
Here's
then
a
I'm
little-
like, oh, and then I'm like, oh Jesus, look at all my gray hair, like this. Like, and I work
Here's
with
a little,
high school kids, so I'm gonna be like, they are going to think that
Yes.
I'm like trying too hard. But
exactly.
really, I'm just reliving my youth.
Yes, like here's a little side tangent, but I think I saw that you posted it too, but okay, I was like obsessed with whenever I saw the new American Girl dolls. They're so, but I saw you
Which
put
are
like
basically Mary Kate and Ashley Olsen, by the
they
way.
are. That's so true. They're basically Mary Kate and Ashley, and I mean their bedrooms. There's like bedroom sets of theirs,
Oh,
and
yeah.
they even have inflatable furniture for these
do.
American Girl dolls. I mean,
Yes.
it's incredible, but it is funny because they're like historic,
They're
historic dolls from
historical
'99.
1999. And I'm like, oh no.
Wow. Yeah, that's
The
wild.
historic 1900s.
Yes.
God.
I saw that and I just turned to dust. I was like, well, I am ancient. Holy shit.
Well,
The American Girl doll has finally caught up to us.
Yeah,
Like, wow.
crazy.
But no, they do. They have inflatable furniture. They have like a whole like computer, like old school computer, like
I
desktop.
want that just for me. Like it's
Oh my
so
God, it's
cute. There's
so
like a
cute.
desktop computer. There's like a little floppy disk, and there's a little CD drive with like a mixtape coming out of it. And I mean,
Yeah.
it's perfect.
It is real
It's
good.
perfect.
But you know, my one gripe is their names are Isabel and Nikki, and I just don't think Nikki. I could see there being lots of Nikki. Isabel is not.
Isabel's not. No.
from that time period. That I
Should
feel
have been
like.
Definitely
Riley
not.
and Chloe.
Thank you, Justin.
Perfect. We've already figured it out. Exactly.
It should have. I mean, I understand they couldn't do Mary Kate and Ashley, which is what they wanted to do, because one is like a sporty tomboy and one is
Right.
girly. But
Exactly.
Isabel and Nikki are not the names I would have chosen.
That's so true.
Yeah,
I agree.
Like, not at all. I mean, truly, if they were, 13-year-old girls in 1999, they should have been like Ashley and Jessica, or so. I mean, because those are the names that it would have actually
Exactly.
been. Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, basically, I know when I think about it.
Overwhelmed by it.
Now, this next one, Leilani, we don't
Okay.
even remember.
No, not at all.
I have no memory of this whatsoever. And it's
I have
Mary
never
Kate
seen
and
this.
Ashley in Action, which is an animated series.
Never seen that in my life. And
Never-
I saw
no.
whenever I was doing my research,
Mm-hmm.
I saw that there's like tons of books on this. I think there was video
Yes.
games, there's Barbies. I mean, so there was a
yeah.
lot of marketing on this
Yeah.
particular show, but
This would have
I've never heard of
been 01 to 02 was my freshman year in high school. And I think, you know what I was watching religiously at that time? Lizzie McGuire. So maybe
Oh.
I just missed it.
did you graduate in 05?
Yes.
Okay, me too. Same year.
Oh my God. Okay. Well, yeah. Okay. That would make sense. Yeah. Because you're only
Yeah,
like
so
6
this
months
is-
older than me.
Yeah, so at this point, it's like you're kind of like aging out, but
Yeah.
they are the same age, but some of the stuff is a little young, you know,
Yeah.
but you still are like
yeah.
holding on to it at the same
Yeah.
time, and you know, that kind of vibe.
This had a very I kind of looked at some of it, and it has a very like Kim Possible type of animation style, but like not as good because it's not
Right.
Disney.
Right, because they're like special agents or something.
Yeah,
solving
they're Mary Kate and
crimes.
Ashley, but then they're also special agents
Of course, why not?
naturally. So, but they're like this is no who took a bite out of somebody's sandwich. This is literally like we're gonna go and like
We got to stop
They're, like,
stop the
scaling
launch of these
buildings.
nukes.
Yeah,
That's
like
right.
literally, it's like we have to stop the KGB or something. They're very serious. I was looking through some of the plots, and I was like, oh, okay.
Okay.
Yeah, there's bombs, and there's
It's like
there's
it's
things
like James
that.
Bond kind of spy shit.
It's very
Exactly.
yes, but with like
Exactly.
two fashionable teens.
Two?
Two fashionable teens. This one, when you put in the notes, Leilani, aired on ABC for one Saturday morning, and that made me remember one Saturday morning.
Yeah.
Yeah. Those were the days. A little earlier than this, but yeah.
Yes. And that explains to me why I didn't watch it, because I was definitely not getting up early on Saturday mornings when I was 14.
Done with that, yeah.
I was done with that. Yeah. So that I was definitely not catching this one. But like most of their shows, canceled after one season.
Exactly. About the same 26 episodes. Then we were done. But then, just like the other ones, they kept with the products, the books, the dolls,
products.
all that.
Yeah.
It's fascinating to me.
Yeah.
Look at the, like, there's all these like tie-in merchandise for shows that only go for like 20 episodes.
Isn't that,
Yeah.
that's what I thought. Like, it doesn't even matter if the show doesn't make it. I mean, then they just, I mean, they would keep these other things going for so long.
Yeah, like what other show that gets canceled after one season's getting Barbie dolls and
I know.
And, like
lots-
tons of books afterwards
tons of
continuing
spin-offs,
the
like,
story.
Yeah.
not much.
It's very weird. Yeah.
It is.
But this was like the last of the TV shows.
Right, yes.
Because, you know, at this time, they also had started doing movies. Some of which, a lot of which were like direct to video, I guess.
Yes.
Or,
yes. I think almost all of them.
was New York Minute the only one that had a theatrical release?
I'm pretty sure. I think they barely had any movies that were in theaters.
Well, and so the other ones, now I remember they would they air on like ABC or ABC Family? Is that where they would
Yeah.
air?
I'm pretty sure, yeah.
Because they would be direct to video, but then it would be like premiering, winning London, you know, and they would
Right.
show them on TV, but I couldn't remember if it was Disney or they were more of like an ABC Family before Disney bought them.
Definitely, yeah.
Right, yeah. So they'd already had Billboard Dad, which was
Billboard Dad.
another one where they're trying to
Widowed
hook
dad,
their
yep.
Widowed Dad.
Trying to hook the dad up with
Yep,
someone,
they make
exactly.
a big billboard. How?
And once again,
absolutely.
murdered their innocent mother.
Once
That's
again,
correct.
under suspicious circumstances, the mother is gone.
Yes,
It's giving me. You remember the Eve 6 episode of X-Files? It's kind of giving me with the twins.
I do not remember that.
Me neither, but I need to watch that. I love the X-Files.
Oh God, so good. They had done Billboard Dad in '98. That was their first when they were kind of tweens. So I guess
Yeah.
they would have been like 11 during this
Right.
time.
Just the name
Right.
Billboard Dad is putting me in mind of Homeless Dad from Arrested Development.
I just want my kids back.
I just want my kids back.
I just want my kids back.
I just want a wife again.
Oh God, I don't know how to cook anything.
I just wanted a live wife.
Oh, my sandwiches are terrible. These very much had kind of Disney Channel original movie production value.
Definitely. Definitely. They went on to Switching Goals in '99, and I actually did watch some of this one. Now, I didn't make it all the way through, but I
Okay.
watched some. And
Was it because it was so bad? Or
it really wasn't that bad, but it was like
Okay.
the typical story again. I mean, they just keep rewriting this over and over. So again, Mary Kate's really sporty. She's great at soccer. It's a soccer themed movie. Ashley's like really girly, and it's kind of odd because the dad, they do have a mom and a dad. I'll say they do.
Oh, okay.
For now.
Shocker, but for now.
Yeah, really.
But it's like the dad is like forced to have Ashley on he's a soccer coach. He's forced to have her on his team, and he's really bummed about it because Ashley like sucks so bad at soccer, and he just really wants Mary Kate. So the plot is odd at the beginning for sure. I was
Just
like,
switch them
man.
out. They look exactly the same. Who's gonna know?
Right, who's gonna know? It's
Yeah.
harsh though.
Just switch them
That
out.
is harsh.
I know.
That is harsh.
Well, so you know what else is harsh is the Parent Trap type of plot of like, hey, we're gonna
Yes.
we're gonna split up. Let's each of us get one of the we each get one.
Like,
That's-
that's so weird. Who does that?
No one does
It
that.
happens a lot in these. Like
It happens a lot in these movies, apparently. Well, and that's also a sister.
sister,
That's
sister, same
yeah.
thing.
The plot.
They
of
meet
Sister,
at the
Sister.
mall.
like what
shopping for
what
clothes.
divorce proceedings, custody, battles have ended with, oh, perfect. We've got 2 kids, so and they look exactly the same. So you get one, I get one. We'll call it even.
And then they'll never see each other.
And they'll
ever.
never see each other. We will
Right,
never
they
make
won't
them
even
aware
know
of the
that
other's
they were
existence.
twins.
They won't even know that they have a sibling. Let
Right,
alone a
exactly.
twin.
Let
Yeah.
alone a twin.
Yeah.
It's
I
wild.
love it. Now, with Sister, I have
Yeah.
to remember, were they adopted?
Yeah, I think they
'Cause
were adopted. You're
I think
right.
they were adopted because
And
the
one
parents-
just happened to be to a man, and one just happened to be to a woman.
right, the wonderful
Yeah.
Jacquet.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, and because they never were together. Like
No,
they didn't
they never
have
were.
those. That's what it was. They were.
Yeah.
Their parents had put them up for adoption, and they were adopted to 2 different families, but still a
Right.
similar situation.
Similar
Yeah.
kind of thing. Yeah, for sure.
I'm sure there's dead parents involved somewhere along the line there.
I'm positive there is.
This is just making me think about how we're going to have to do a Maori Twins episode and have Leilani on. Leilani's going to be on all of our twin episodes.
I loved
Two
all the
twin
twins.
episodes?
Everyone has turned this episode off by this point.
Yeah.
I would just like-
They're like, that's enough.
That's quite enough of that.
Yeah. But yeah, I loved the Maori Twins.
Oh man, they're also iconic fashion. But anyway, okay.
Oh my God, so good. So then they started really doing like on location.
Okay, I loved these. This is where I really loved. I mean, the fashion was iconic during these movies. So,
oh my God, the fashion and the hair. I am just remembering, like you were saying earlier about the flippy hair.
Oh yeah.
And I feel like the Mary-Kate and Ashley like shoulder length or chin length, like flipped out layered hair.
I loved that.
Everything.
Okay, so out of these kind of movies, does one stand out to you? Like on location? Did you watch one of these more? Or?
I remember Winning London and maybe Holiday in the Sun more than the others.
Okay.
I didn't own any of them.
Okay, you didn't own any of them. Okay.
I didn't own any of them, so I would catch them on TV.
Okay, so the only one I remember having was Passport to Paris.
Okay.
So I really loved that one. Like I've watched that a lot. Like once again, quoting like the entire beginning. So like I was really familiar. So this was the first one of the on location. It was in '99. So they were still like 13. So this was like a fun tween kind of age.
What was the? I don't know that I've ever watched Passport to Paris. I feel like this is like their more. Probably one of their better ones, right? I feel like this
one is so good.
Like popular than the others, maybe.
I love
like Passport to Paris is one I hear about a lot more. What's the plot of this one? Is there a widowed dad?
There's not a widowed dad. They do have both parents, but they are they're never like with their parents. So basically,
they have
13.
like an au pair.
Well, so basically, they're like 13. Mm-hmm. They're just think like Valley girls. Like they're very obsessed with boys, obsessed with makeup, talking to their friends, whatever. So I guess their parents want them to be more like cultured. So they end up sending them to Paris over spring break, which they are so appalled about because it's during the spring fling dance and they're so mad.
Oh no, okay.
They get to go to Paris.
What a shame.
And their right? I mean,
really.
it's horrible time.
I'm going to miss a school dance to go to fucking Paris. What a bummer.
Yeah. They do not have the appreciation.
Their grandfather actually is the American ambassador to France, so they get to stay like in a castle. Yeah, and just typical hygiene.
They don't even appreciate it, do they?
No, not at all. Not for a second.
Do they meet French boys? I'm betting
obviously.
they do.
Yes, I think their names are like Jean and Michel or something like that. Yes.
Now, are they mimes? I'm imagining them as mimes.
They do wear a lot of black turtlenecks, for sure.
As all French men do, yes.
Right, and there's a lot
Even
of
13-year-old French men.
Yeah, a lot of talking with their hands because a couple of them they can't speak the same language or they don't speak the same language like literally. So there's a lot of like funny little bits about that. But okay, this one, Amy, you have to just turn it on. It's on Amazon. I think it's free.
I was about to say, no, some of them are up streaming.
This one, the fashion is unreal. It has all the best parts in one movie. So there are tiny braids, flower crowns before flower crowns were like anything. They have hair gems, tiny hair gems, the kerchiefs. Okay.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm. The little
butterfly clips, chokers. Yeah. Okay, and my favorite, they have pink. One wears pink, one wears blue. Tiny round sunglasses, like teeny tiny circular sunglasses.
I've seen a picture of those. Oh my
it's the
God.
Best. It's the best. And then, the opening.
I'm shocked
scene.
you haven't seen this, Amy.
I'm shocked I haven't seen it. I think I've seen the beginning where they're getting sent to Paris.
Okay, because especially the beginning.
Sounds familiar.
Once they're in Paris, I mean, it's a cute movie, but when they're in school, though, like the opening scene is them by their lockers and they're like introducing themselves. And Mary Kate's locker is like there's no books. It's just piled with CDs. And then there's this big speaker, like, blasting music. And then Ashley's
So
locker.
cool.
Okay.
It's
So cool. Ashley's locker. Okay, there are two of
Dude,
of these like
I was holding out. I wasn't gonna do it.
you know
I was
like
too. I was like, I'm not going to interrupt her.
imagine like a store display, like a clear store display that like spins and you're like looking through something,
Yeah.
and it's filled with lipsticks and fingernail polishes. I mean, there's like hundreds of them. It's incredible in her school locker. And then my only other takeaway is that they have to wash the dishes one night. This is where their parents are just like fed up because
they're
they
like,
only
y'all are
talk about
spoiled.
boys. Yeah, they're just like they have no substance, you know. But
Yeah.
they're washing dishes and they're wearing like full on like telemarketing headsets as they're washing the dishes so they can talk on the phone. And it's like incredible. As like 13-year-olds, it's awesome.
I love it. Oh my god.
And of course, there's fashion montages with music, and they're trying on all the clothes, and I mean, it has it all. Passport to Paris.
All
is,
right.
like,
I mean, I
iconic.
feel like new plan. We're going to stop recording right now. Amy, you got to go watch this one.
I
And
think
then
Justin
come
and
back
me need
for
to
a
watch
full
it, too.
report. Well, yeah.
Yeah, if anyone takes away anything from this podcast, just go watch Passport to Paris. It's worth
I
your
am
time.
gonna watch it today. It's
good.
happening. It's happening. I love it.
I expect you to record an addendum. We'll tack on to the end of
That's
this.
right.
Okay.
We'll get your full review of it.
Okay. Perfect.
Please do.
Now I feel like they were really cranking these out at this point.
Oh, it's like every year.
It's like every year, and there's even a couple. Like there's 2 in 2001 and 2 in 2002.
2 in 2000.
2 in 2000. Jesus Christ.
so
Our
sorry.
lips are
I'm so
sealed. I
sorry.
don't remember that one at all.
Okay,
I mean, I
Our
remember
Lips
the
Are-
name, but
Yeah, so that one they're in Australia, and I don't really remember it either, but they're like in the witness protection program or something random like that. It's more of a bad guys trying to get them.
oh,
But they do have, if you've seen the picture of like the color block, like mod outfits, like from the 60s, where it's
oh
like
my
the
God, I
big
don't
color
think I
block.
have.
Google that too.
Well, I was
and
live googling.
you have to live Google this. This is the
Oh
first
my
one for the
God.
episode. It is, this is one of their best outfits that they've ever worn. I mean, it is so cute. So I think they're at like a party where it's all 60s themed or something. I can't really remember this one, but the outfit.
Oh my God.
Do you see it?
Oh, I am. Well, I'm just seeing. First of all, I'm just seeing the cover, which I
Yes.
mean, they are just peak. This was what 2000.
Right, with the
I
pink
mean,
hue on it
The
and everything.
Oh, jeez. It's perfect. Oh, the hibiscus flower outfits.
Oh, yeah. There's
That
a
was
lot
big.
of good outfits.
There-
in this
oh,
one.
the flippy hair and the
Flippy hair.
highlights.
A lot of like little bandanas that like go out really, long
Yes.
under their hair. Yeah.
Oh, yep. There's the outfits.
Do you see
oh
it?
my God, they look like go-go dancers or something.
Exact, but it's so cute.
Oh my God, I
That's
love
probably
it.
my favorite. I wrote that down. I love that one. I was
mean,
like, we've got to talk
you
about
really
it.
cannot stress enough that how big and it's funny because they have a fashion line and it's completely nothing like this,
Right.
But like they were fashionistas. I mean and I do think probably a lot of at that point in time, like they probably were choosing a lot of what they were wearing because I mean they ended up designing clothes for Walmart around this time, and so like I feel like
Right.
they probably
Even
did have
like,
a big hand in like what they were wearing.
I think so. Like, even when we talk about the Barbies and stuff, I watched a little interview when they were on Rosie O'Donnell and on her
Yes.
talk show.
Yes.
And they were like unveiling the Barbies. And they said that they even picked out like the Barbies' clothes and designed those clothes and stuff
Yeah.
based on their outfits. And so
Yeah.
I think
So
they're
that's
really
all.
into
I think
that.
that is something they have always loved, and I mean now they, they sell $7,000 plain trench coats because they're very bland. But it's sad. It's sad
yeah.
because I wish that they were wearing a lot more of this. Like, why can't you sell $7,000 mod dresses?
Exactly.
Like
Come
color
on.
block dresses. I mean, they look like Vanessa Kensington in Austin Powers.
Yes, they do. It's
They
that
look like the
vibe.
go-go
Perfect.
dancers
Yes,
at that club at
exactly.
the beginning.
Exactly.
And it's amazing. Yes, a lot of, oh God, just the hair accessories Like
this movie in particular, like
Okay.
there's a lot of like small scenes of like them at school, like, and then they switch to another day or something.
Yeah.
And they always have amazing hair accessories. Like they never
Yeah.
just have plain hair. It's like there's always all kinds of stuff happening.
right. And I mean, even their plain hair is great.
Yeah.
Because it's that flippy little layered. It's just so good. I know Justin just cannot possibly appreciate this, but it is just wonderful.
I'm just enjoying listening to it.
You're,
Yeah, it is wonderful.
Yeah, that's
then
a
you had
standout.
Winning London. Now they had longer hair in this one, and they were very chic. I feel like this is kind of when they started growing up a bit. I feel like
Definitely.
from like 2000 to 2001, you start to see a bit more of a. Well, I mean, I guess they're technically like
Mature.
teens now.
And this
Yeah.
kind of coincided with So Little Time, right? Because they
Yes,
look similar.
They look
Yeah.
very similar.
They start having those little beach waves, like the
Yes.
very small waves in their hair. And I remember Winning London specifically. I haven't watched this one in so long, but
Yeah, me either.
they would wear those flared pants that were almost like tie-dyed flares. But they
Oh,
weren't
yeah.
tie-dyed like loud. It would be like a dark brown and a light brown. And then they would wear like a long duster with
Yes.
I feel like
Oh,
that was on the
yes.
cover, maybe. Like I just remember
There,
those looks.
I'm remembering, the cover. Oh my God, yes. One of them has brown tie-dye pants on. And one
Okay,
has
I thought
plaid.
so. Okay,
And they
I didn't
have,
watch this one,
like the
but-
long coats. It's very like winter chic.
exactly.
Is there,
Yes,
And like the boots.
it is more
Yes.
neutral. They're getting into more of the neutrals, but like it's still really
Yes.
fun though.
Oh, very much so.
Yeah,
Still lots of hats in this one.
lots of hats.
Because it's London, it's cold
London.
out. I'm just scrolling through the pictures. The sunglasses game is strong.
I hope they're tiny because I feel like they always have the tiny.
Well,
sunglasses.
now we've moved
Oh.
into like an aviator.
Okay, okay, okay.
A bit of an aviator. Now,
Okay.
I don't remember the plot of this one. It
Me
was this
neither.
this was fashion, I think. No, wait.
Okay, yeah, I
Two
can't
American
remember.
students visit London for a symposium,
Ooh.
and when not busy representing the most powerful nation on earth, they learn to play polo, see the sights, go shopping, and even find time for romance.
Well, of course.
That is the most ridiculous.
Weirdly, some weird patriotism in that,
I
in that blurb out of
too.
nowhere.
Well, okay, I have to mention this because this is right around the same time, okay? And I was Googling just like images, like just to remember some of the stuff, like some of their products and whatever. So I have to ask, this is totally off topic, but it's the same time. It's 2001. Do you remember the Mary-Kate and Ashley magazine?
Yes.
Okay, because it was like I remembered the cover. I definitely had this magazine.
Okay.
It said it came out in May of 2021. I don't know how long this lasted, but the cover was like black and white or something, and they were walking
Them
on the beach.
On the beach, yes.
Okay, so I have to say that I wrote down that some of like the blurbs on the cover, okay, were like spring fashion tips, okay, the inside scoop on hanging out with Aaron Carter in LA and London, and then
Yeah.
also their top picks on who should be the first female president. So I was like, okay, it was
wanna know what their
so
picks
like
are.
random.
All right. And then volunteer, changing the world.
Oh, of course, of course.
And you're better looking than you think. Avoid the media hype.
Okay, that's a good positive message.
Okay, we like that. We like
that.
Yeah,
But yeah, so
wonder
even
how-
during this time, they had a magazine out. Like, who even knows? That's like just a small blip on the radar, I feel. Like, that wasn't a huge
that
thing.
didn't even make it into our thing. But yeah, they had a magazine.
And they even had a
mean,
magazine. So there's so many, like right now, the same time as So Little Time and like Winning London and Holiday in the Sun and Our
Yeah.
Lips Are Sealed. They had a magazine. Like, it's so much. I mean, it's like so saturated.
And and they really were. And I'm sure, Justin, that you can even remember just like they were everywhere.
It's
Oh, yeah.
crazy. They were
I mean,
literally
even
everywhere.
though it was something you weren't really into, like they were truly everywhere. And and like we said, like, you look at all of the stuff they were doing in the early mid 90s, and you think, oh my God, there's so much. There's even more once you hit like 99,
Yes.
98, 99, and then that first half of the 2000s, They had
The two. It's like
much.
the two great waves of Olsen Twin mania.
Yes,
Definitely.
absolutely.
The early '90s and then the
Absolutely.
even bigger golden era.
Yep.
Yeah, late 90s into early 2000s. You
Yep.
then had Holiday in the Sun, which was like a surfing. Was there a
Yeah, I
surfing
think
competition?
maybe the Bahamas. Yeah, I think they were like in the
Yeah.
Bahamas.
No, I don't remember When in Rome at all.
I did
Or-
not watch that. And I
or
didn't watch
Getting There.
Getting There. I saw that one was like they're turning 16. And I was like, what is this about? So they go on a road trip and it has something to do with Salt Lake City going to the Olympics, which I thought was like really random.
Oh, yeah, that is
Yeah.
really random. Mm-hmm. Now, the last movie they ever did together was
Yes.
New York Minute.
Warner Brothers Pictures presents Twins.
We haven't spent the day together in years.
Mary-Kate Olsen, Ashley Olsen, Eugene Levy. Woo!
Going down! Step out of it.
New York Minute.
Yes.
And that was a theatrical release. I remember watching that. It had Jared Padalecki in it from Gilmore Girls and Supernatural. He was
yes.
Mary
And Eugene
Kate's
Levy,
love
right?
interest. And Eugene Levy was in it. And yeah, this was the going out on a bang. I mean, as far as like a theatrical movie,
Okay,
it's not great.
It is not
No.
great. And I didn't rewatch this for the podcast, but I did put it on. Sometimes I'll watch YouTube videos of people watching old like 2000s movies, you know, and see their like funny reactions. And this one was one of them. And I was like, oh my gosh, I have to watch this. So I put this on like a couple months ago. And
Okay.
it is questionable at times. There's some kind of interesting things that happen. But yeah.
I feel
but
like they
it-
have very
not good.
cool girl names in this one, but I can't.
Yeah, I wish I knew what they were.
Let's see. Let me look those up real quick because I do feel like they have very cool girl names.
The main thing I remember about this one, though, is it's the same thing. Mary Kate is like, instead of being sporty in this one, she's
Yes.
more like messy, and she wears like the band shirts, and she's
She's
just like
very
all
punk.
over the place.
She's very
very
punk rock.
punk. Okay,
Her name
and then
is
Ashley's very
Roxy.
prissy.
Roxy, and then Ashley's character's name is Jane
Okay, yeah. Okay.
because they have Jane and Roxy Ryan. Oh yeah,
Okay.
Mary Kate's like in a band. She's like a drummer.
Right, like she's just real cool, and then Ashley's definitely very like pristine and very like pink and cute. But the main thing I remember is like towards the beginning, they open their closets. They're like in two separate rooms, and
Yes.
like Mary Kate's is just everything's everywhere, and then Ashley has like a the home edit type closet where everything's perfect in a little
the home edit,
basket.
very organized.
Very
She's like,
organized.
yes, yes.
Yeah.
And again, now by this point in my life, I feel like I definitely leaned more Mary Kate with my fashion, but I was not nearly as cool as a Roxy Ryan.
Yeah, I think Ashley
But I
was
was
a little
not.
uptight during these days. So
She
I think
was a little too. Now we'll say we don't know her in general, but her
Right, her
characters
character.
she was playing were definitely a bit type A.
exactly. And there was a band that played in this. I can't remember if it was like the Jonas Brothers or someone, but there was a concert that
man.
happened. I remember that.
Andy Richter is in this movie. Oh my god. Bob Saget was in this.
Oh, he was.
I forgot
okay.
he had a little. Oh, that's sweet. I forgot
Cameo?
he had a little cameo.
Okay.
Simple Plan.
Simple Plan. Oh
That's-
my God, even better. Simple Plan was
Simple
in
Plan was the band that was.
because
in
that
it.
was a
Oh.
huge thing. They were trying to get to this concert. So
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. This was. It's weird because I think of 2004. I'm like, oh my god, yeah, they were everywhere. But that was the last movie they did.
Right, and I never even saw this movie. So I think at this point, I mean, like we said, I mean, we graduated in 05, so I was definitely not paying attention to the Olsen twins at this
Yeah.
point. So
Yeah.
I missed this one entirely.
Now, I watched this movie because it had Jared Padalecki in it, and I
Okay.
always had a big crush on him because I was a huge Gilmore Girls fan and then a huge
Yes.
Supernatural fan. That's why I watched New York Minute.
Okay, yes.
Yeah.
Fair.
But yeah. So So at this point, you've got all these movies. We talked a lot about the dolls, the magazine. They started a clothing line at Walmart, which then expanded into like accessories, cosmetics, perfumes, hair tools, like all kinds of beauty stuff.
All the things.
It's just so many things, and just like everything else, there was so much merch. Like a CD player, a caller ID telephone, which I looked up the other day. Oh my god,
that was one of my favorite things that I saw. It was just
and it's
so
like purple and yellow.
Yes, it's so cute, and it's like
Yes.
caller ID. Like they make sure to really like drill that in.
It's a
It's
caller
so
ID
cute.
phone. Yeah,
It's not just any phone.
that's right.
Right.
Sheets. Why did everything have sheet sets?
It like went so far, like as I was like looking these things up, because I definitely remember like cosmetic section, like all of the body sprays and the hair
Yes,
tools. Like
I
I
do
saw they had a
remember all
little
that.
hair braider, which I thought was cute.
Yes,
Not just like a straightener, but a little hair
Yes,
braider.
the little hair braider. It had the beads. Yes.
Yes. But yeah, sheets even. I was like, oh man, I didn't even realize,
They really. It was everywhere.
And they also had the fashion dolls, the Barbies.
Yes.
And so I watched a video about the dolls, and I mean, I won't get into all of it or we would be here another hour, but there's like, y'all, there's so many dolls. Like, it is unreal the amount of dolls that they put out. So they had like the original ones that also had that same kind of aesthetic, where Mary Kate was sporty. She had an equestrian outfit and a soccer outfit.
Okay,
and Ashley had a ballet and a cheerleader.
Okay.
But then, and this was under their Real Fashion for Real Girls line.
Yes.
But then they just keep going. And almost every movie that we mentioned, Billboard Dad, Passport to Paris, Winning London, When in Rome, Holiday in the Sun, New York Minute, they all had doll lines that went with it. And a lot of them came with a book version of the movie.
Yeah.
And then it was kind of interesting because it kept going. So a lot of these were Walmart exclusive. But then they even had like Target exclusive dolls, and they would look like, they were called On the Red Carpet. And they would look like an actual outfit that they wore. Like the Target was what they wore to the premiere of Rush Hour 2. And then they even had a block. Yes.
Not even
then
a
they
movie
even
they're
had-
in, but Rush Hour 2.
Rush Hour 2. And then they even had a Blockbuster exclusive doll, which I thought was so interesting.
Oh
And
my god.
that was the Holiday in the Sun movie theme.
Did it come with the movie?
I
Or it
don't
was just
think
something that they sold at Blockbuster?
I think it was just it was just exclusive to Blockbuster, which is
That
so
is
random.
Cool.
And then the only other thing was that some of these dolls, okay, they had the coolest accessories I've ever seen. Like they had a set by Mattel called the Getting There dolls, so it must be for the
From
movie
that
Getting
road trip?
There.
Yeah.
Yeah, and okay, they had little tiny, okay, it's like a Barbie. They had little tiny curling irons, crimpers, and straightening tools that you could actually use on the dolls. They were tiny. I don't know even how that worked, but like I watched the commercials for some of these, and like they were showing them style their hair. Okay, and then they had okay, there's another one, and they had a their like what do you call it? Hobby was, one of them was photography, and you could actually develop a photo, and
What?
one was like art, and you could like watercolor on this tiny canvas, or that's what the commercial was showing. I'm assuming
Right.
that was real,
Oh my god.
And then Walmart did It's Your Look dolls, which came with samples of their perfume line, and then they kind of
my
continued them called the Year of Celebration dolls, which was when they turned 18, and they had like a graduation set, a prom set, and they even had a doll called Look Who's 18, which I thought was kind of weird. And that was
Look who's legal.
also
Let's be
inspired.
honest. There
Ew.
was. Let's be
Right.
honest. There
Yes.
was a website that counted down until
Oh.
the Olsen twins were legal,
No doubt.
and it was disgusting.
No doubt.
Yeah.
No doubt. And those dolls were also inspired by Red Carpet for Charlie's Angels Full Throttle. And that was the last doll that was produced. So I went on like a rabbit hole of these Barbies.
Oh
so
my
it was
god.
crazy.
Now, are you going to start collecting them?
If I had the space, I would consider it. Like, I want to see, how do I crimp the doll's hair? I'm intrigued.
Just cut to Leilani just crimping doll's hairs. Your husband just walks in like, honey, what are you doing? I'm just crimping Mary Kate's hair. Don't just move past it, honey.
I'm making her pretty.
I'm making her pretty. Like, she's got to have her look from Winning London, honey.
Amazing.
I've got to find me the brown tie-dye pants. Oh my God. It really, I mean, so much.
It just
I
went
thought there was a
on
lot of
and
Goosebumps merch, you know.
Whew.
Though this takes the cake.
This was crazy, yeah.
This was crazy.
So much.
And like we talked about, like the book series for all of these, there was a book series for everything basically that they did. So, and that started with Full House. Yes. And you know what's strange is we talked about the Full House Stephanie books had started already, which is more of what we read. But, you know, Full House is still in syndication. I mean, so it's still, you know, there's still episodes of it all the time. So the Full House Michelle dolls didn't even start until 95, which was the year the show ended.
Right, yes.
And there were 41 of those books, and those ran until 2001.
That's it probably it didn't matter because the reruns are on so much.
Exactly.
Like,
so I think some of them probably, a lot of them were original stories, you know, but some of them probably were, you know, just like retellings of stories from the show.
Right.
And then you also had a Full House Sister series, which was 14 books that was Michelle and Stephanie's friendship and just like situations they would get in.
Yeah.
And then you had 4 books that were Full House Dear Michelle, and those took place like just during her 3rd grade year.
Okay.
And she does like an advice column for her school paper.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I love it.
And then you had the Adventures of Mary Kate and Ashley books, which were just 10, and they corresponded with those videos.
Okay, the mysteries.
But then you had the new Adventures of Mary Kate and Ashley, and that series ran from 98 to 2005.
That's the one I really remember, like seeing a lot.
Correct.
Even if I wasn't reading them, I saw those a lot.
All the time. That was 46 books.
Okay, yeah.
Which was just basically a continuation of the original series. So the girls are like getting older, but it's still like mysteries, you know, solving mysteries.
Okay, it is mysteries. Okay.
You even had 7 books that went along with that Mary Kate and Ashley in Action series.
Right.
And those spanned from 97 to 2003.
See, some of that stuff is so random. It's like they're just going to try it again. They're like, well, let's just put another one out, you know?
Sure, why not?
Just see if it sticks. Yeah.
Yeah. 2 of a Kind had 1 season, and these books, 40 of them.
40
from 1999 to 2006.
See, that's
wild. And it
wild.
has to be because they're in reruns on ABC Family,
has to
and so
be, but
everybody
that's just they're just 1 season. I mean, that's just so
season.
Interesting.
Yeah.
You think about 2006, like they're putting out books for a show that ran for 1 season like 8 years ago.
And at this point, at 2006, you got to think the Olsen Twins haven't even made anything.
They're not
years.
making
They're done.
stuff.
Right? Yeah, they're done.
They're not making anything together at this point, and very few things. Like, I think it was Ashley that almost like that may have been the last thing she acted in. She didn't do much. Mary Kate did a couple. I remember there was an episode of Samantha Who that she was in. She did a couple like guest spots here and there for a couple more years, but then she was also done.
Right.
So yeah, like I mean, for a book to be coming out about the show in 2006, the show came on like 7 years before. So little time. You had 16 books for that, and those ran from 02, again, when the show ended, from 02 to 04. Okay. Then you had Mary Kate and Ashley starring in, which I think was like what you were talking about, where they were novelizations of some of those direct-to-video ones, like Holiday in the Sun and stuff. And then you had another series called Mary Kate and Ashley Sweet 16 that ran for 3 years.
Okay.
And so this started in 2002. It was 18 books, and it was like it started, like the first book was like they're planning their Sweet 16 party. and I think that it like ran for like until they were 18, because then you had this trilogy of books called Graduation Summer Trilogy. A trilogy.
A trilogy.
And this was like a continuation of that series, but it was like a special, the summer after they graduate high school. 3 books. Which you got to think, you know, like you're talking with the dolls and the graduation and the look who's 18 and all. So this all had to have been coming out like at the same time. Like they really, I mean, their whole childhood was monetized.
And then
I mean,
there was
literally.
At some point in here when they turned, I mean, was it when they turned 18 or, but they took
no, and it was, they didn't, because, well, no, I guess, yeah. So in 2004, that was when they turned 18, which is suspiciously when they stopped doing everything.
Right. See, that's what, you know, is interesting, which they could just be burnout, but also it's like they turned 18 when they were adults and then
they were like, fuck this, I'm not doing this anymore.
So it's interesting.
Yes.
And at some point they took full control, right, of their company, the Jewel Star. And then I know that's what was churning some of this out. So maybe they were kind of doing that kind of thing instead of actually acting and being in movies and TV.
Because I do think like some of the Walmart stuff and like they were much more into the fashion. Definitely. I know, and the beauty stuff at that age. So I think they took over some of that stuff. And it sounds like they did have a lot of say in that sort of stuff. At that point in time. And I mean, clearly that's where their interests still lie, because they in 2006 they founded the Row, which is their fashion line. It's just, you know, incredibly expensive, very neutral, boring clothing, I hate to say.
Because this part I just really, I mean, obviously I've seen pictures of Mary Kate and Ashley over the years and all the things, but I just have not kept up with them ever since they were really adults. I would hear, they got married or something happened, but I wasn't familiar with the Row. I had to look that up, and I was like, okay. Yeah,
it's just, I mean, I knew that they had gotten really into fashion as far as like, you know, they'd be at Fashion Week and all this stuff. But I mean, they have been out of the public eye for the most part. I mean, outside of the fashion world for over a decade, and I cannot blame them.
No, after you see all of this, it's totally understandable.
Their image, their likeness was such. I mean, their entire young lives was just a brand, and that's. I mean, I can't think of a lot of other people that is the case, like on this level, where like 18 years of their life was just...
that's a huge span of time, you know. There's a lot of like child stars, but they get out of it like pretty early on, you know. But
and I mean, to my knowledge, like I don't think either of them has ever gotten it. I feel like maybe Mary Kate had some drug issues. Maybe I'm making that up. Like I feel like I don't think there was any
there was all that stuff about her weight. I remember that was such a huge thing, and there was like
right. Like after the fact, there was some anorexia stuff.
Yeah, and suspicions of drug use. I don't know if that was ever confirmed or just tabloids.
that's what I'm thinking of. But they seem to both be doing really good now.
They do, yeah.
They Mary Kate was married for several years, 2015 to 2021.
I do remember that. Yeah,
remember she was married to some like billionaire guy. Yeah, who was a lot older than her.
Like he was from France or something.
Yeah,
you know. Yeah.
Maybe she met him on the set of Passport to Paris.
Passport to Paris, right? Exactly.
And then Ashley just got married last year.
Okay, see, I didn't even realize that. So, okay.
So they don't have neither one of them have kids, but God, could you blame them? Would they want kids? They're like, we're fucking done with kids.
Yeah, we're like, we're done.
Yeah. You know, I did look, and, you know, of course they were not part of Fuller House, which was the sequel series that Netflix did. And of course, Candace Cameron Bure and, why am I having a blank on Stephanie's name? I love her.
Jodie Sweetin.
Jodie Sweetin. Thank you. I wanted to say Julie. I'm like, that's not right. They, of course, were main characters. Right. And I think they say something about Michelle being in Paris. And she's like, Michelle's like, I think a fashion designer. They make like a nod.
I did kind of catch that first episode. I think I have not watched Fuller House either, but
I haven't either.
Yeah, but I wanted to see all the cameos in that first one of everyone. But yeah, Michelle was busy.
Yeah, but they were at Bob Saget's funeral. Both of them were.
Okay.
So I imagine they must still have, you know,
Some
good relationships.
connection.
I would say with probably the people in Full House, or they probably at least Bob Saget, or they wouldn't have probably been there. But I mean, because again, they do not, outside of the fashion world, like they are not in the public at all. So, you know, knowing that there would be lots of people there,
Exactly,
and be wondering if they would come. But yeah, they both were at his funeral, so they must have, you know, some type of relationship with this. You got to think they grew up with those people, really.
Yeah.
And I mean, from everything that like Bob Saget and John Stamos and Dave Coulier have ever said, like that cast really loves one another and like loved those girls, like everybody who play, you know. So, so yeah, I imagine. I like to think that they still are on like good terms with everybody.
Me
from Full
too.
House
Yeah.
and everything.
You know, I think they just know like acting. I don't think is their thing, especially as they got older. I think it was, you know, it was obvious they were like. It wasn't for them. Yeah.
And I mean, I think it really was probably more about the fashion and like getting to wear
Even
like
then,
cool stuff.
yeah.
By the time they got to be like 11 or 12.
Definitely.
And this is probably just like, okay, well, I guess this is the way that we can get to do what
all
we
the
want to
things.
do. And I guess we'll act in some movies and do some stuff.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
Justin, I feel like you've not said a lot this whole episode.
Poor
This has been the me and
Justin.
Leilani show.
I've loved it though.
Okay. There have been oftentimes I forgot you were even here. I'm so sorry.
Sorry, Justin.
No, I've been schooled.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
basically.
I want to know now that we have we schooled you on Mary Kate. What are your thoughts? Like, is this surprising to you? Did you realize how much there was, or?
I mean, I did. I mean, I guess I didn't really. I think of more the early mid '90s. You know, when I think of Olsen Twins, whereas you know, I think they were an even bigger deal, like you were saying, in the late '90s, early aughts, when I was much more so tuned out. You know,
Yeah, I
wasn't
mean, you were
really
in high school,
paying
so,
attention to what the Olsen Twins were doing. So it was always just kind of like I always felt like they were there. Until they weren't.
Yeah.
Until they just kind of dropped off the face of
Exactly.
the earth and you just kind of quit hearing about them.
Yeah.
But I always think more, like when I think of Mary-Kate and Ashley, I think of like Full House, and I think of the old like direct-to-video things.
Right.
Yes. Like when they
And
were
the
younger
books,
than 10.
and the books, just because I remember you always having so many of the books and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, the fashion and all that, and the you know, I was pretty well not plugged into
Tuned
any of
out.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah. You weren't worried about butterfly clips.
I don't think
And
you
hair
were.
Not
gems.
particularly.
Not so much.
Yeah. Leilani and I are very concerned about butterfly clips.
I was very concerned, yes.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
you know those little hair things? I have to say, I saw some at Target, and it's like, okay, this is going to sound, we'll see. Okay, so it's a circle, but it's like zigzaggy, and then you can open it on one side, and you like pop it into the front of your hair, and you kind of have a zigzag headband in there.
Oh, yeah, I know what you're talking about. I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, they were headbands, basically.
They
And
were
they would,
kinda
like,
like
pull
headbands.
your hair
Pull your hair
back in, like, a zigzaggy.
And like a, yeah.
I
And
saw somebody on, like, TikTok or Reels or whatever it was, and they put that, and they were like, what era is this from? Like, what? And I was
Oh my
just
God.
like, please. And that's the thing. That thing was, like, in the 70s, probably, or 80s.
Probably, yeah.
Because
I
I
do
remember
remember
wearing
wearing those.
Those
Yeah.
as like a little kid. There's definitely a picture of me at like 6, and I've got my hair
Yep. Those are
pulled back
yeah.
in one of those. Those are back.
Those are back.
Even if the kids don't know where they came from,
That's right. You know.
they think they're new. I saw someone the other day, and they were like, "What if we had a phone, but you kept it in the house, and like everybody in your
No.
family used it?" And I was like, "I
No.
can't. Tell me.
No, I can't. I turned
cannot.
the internet off.
I was gonna say
yeah.
I've done interneting today.
I've
Thank
done
you.
interneting. Yeah.
Yeah, can't do it. Well, yeah, I guess we've said brought everything that could be said about the Olsen twins.
I really think we have.
I think that they were so influential to our generation, and I mean, and literally we're the same age as them. So I think that
Yep.
it just lined perfectly for us specifically.
Yes.
I think they influenced so much of fashion and just like what we thought was cool.
Yeah, like what you
was-
aspired to have with the bedrooms, with the clothes, the hair, everything.
I feel like
you
they
know?
were big time like role models.
Yes, they were like the it girls for sure.
They were,
but they always
absolutely.
were like nice girls in the movies. You know,
Yes.
they always played like that. It was never like someone who you couldn't be friends with or something. You know,
Yeah, and I think that was key to their brand as well. Was like they were never playing like one was a bully and one wasn't.
Right.
Like, they may have been like, you know, obsessed with boys or something like that, but they weren't mean girls.
No,
They
yeah.
were always nice and like, but they were it girls, but they were
Exactly.
approachable it girls.
exactly.
So I think that was important to their brand for sure.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, Justin, do you have anything you'd like to say?
No, I'm good. I got nothing to add.
I think now's the time where our lovely guest Leilani should do her plugs. you know?
Okay, well, before I do my plugs, though, I do want to make it, you know, officially official here on the podcast by saying,
Oh,
I think everyone already knows, but I'm going to go ahead and say that I am the ultimate Cool Kids Club fan. So if there's anyone out there that needs to know that, I'm letting you know right now.
You're laying down
And
the
I'm-
gauntlet.
she's
I'm just-
laying it
yeah.
down.
I
If
have
anybody
that.
wants to try to come take that from her, you know,
Don't you even try it.
you
Don't
can
even try it.
yeah.
And I'm so excited to be here for Amy's birthday episode.
Oh, we're
Happy
so excited to have
birthday.
you. Thank
The
you.
50th, which I'm on the 50th episode. That is epic.
It is
And
epic.
I do think it's so cool that I'm like the first guest who you guys met like online through the podcast. That's just really cool. So
It is very cool.
is.
have to say that first. But yeah, so if you guys want to follow me, you can find me on Instagram at Leilani_scraps, where I share scrapbooking and memory keeping projects every week. I also have a YouTube channel under the same name, Leilani Scraps, where I share the process videos. I have a Patreon, which all the information for that is on Instagram and YouTube. But I do like exclusive scrapbooking videos over there. We have like a crafty Zoom where we get together. We do a book club. There's all kinds of fun stuff. So
I didn't
start
know
on
there was a
Instagram
book
and
club.
just there's a book, cozy mystery book club. Yes.
Oh, I love that. I love a cozy mystery. It's basically an Adventures of Mary Kate and Ashley, but for
See,
adults.
it started early.
That's where it started.
That's right.
That's where it started. That's where it all started. I love it. We are so excited to have you on with us.
Thank
and I mean, we've been talking with you, I know, for a long time. And it just, I know I can't speak for Justin, but it just warms my heart that some silly thing that he and I have just made together has really, like, you know, made such a fan out of people like
I
you.
really
and
love
I just,
it. Like I think I saw on Instagram, like it might have been a book account or something, posted you guys like a link or whatever right at the beginning. It was like the first couple or first few episodes, and so I went and listened and I was hooked. Like I think just with our ages, I'm like right in there, so I've just really connected with the podcast and almost every episode. Yeah,
I love that so much. And I mean, and Justin and I just, I think the point of doing this was just something fun for us and kind of an outlet for us. And we've both, as adults been so into like nostalgia from our childhood. And, and now there's, we've met all these other people who are also, I mean, that's such a huge thing. And I think that's one of the best parts about doing the podcast is that we've gotten to connect with so many people like you, who share the same loves. And I mean, what's better than, just sitting around and talking about, oh my God, do you remember that? Oh my God, I do remember that, and that kind of thing.
Also, I'll say it's also both of y'all's personality and the dynamic that y'all have. Really, you do make the podcast like top notch.
Well, thank you.
I stand by it. I stand by it.
This is a good podcast.
It's a good podcast.
Stand by it.
It's good.
Yeah. Hashtag get Mark Summers.
Yes, please.
Oh man, Mark Summers. But you know what? We have Leilani Scraps, and that's basically just as good. And I'm loving it. Well, if you have enjoyed this episode of our podcast, actually, no, you know what, Justin, you do this because you've not spoken the whole
Oh,
time. So you need to speak.
Okay.
All right, time to speak. No, if you enjoyed the podcast, go follow us on Instagram and Twitter at Cool Kids Club Pod. We are on Facebook if you just search for Cool Kids Club Podcast. If you want a really easy, quick, free way to help the show, go on Spotify or Apple Podcasts and give us a little review and a 5-star rating and all that good stuff. That is the easiest thing you can do to help us. Shout out to Brian Hey Guys Wakefield for our theme song. As always, BrianWakefieldMusic.com is where you can find all of his goodies. And anything else, Amy?
Well, where are you? Did you tell the good people where you are?
Well, I'm on Instagram at Lousy with Ghosts. I'm not on too much.
Yeah. Well, we're lurkers. We're creepers.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. I am. I'm on Instagram every day of my life, but I'm not posting.
Obviously.
Yeah. I'm on there at Amy Reads TN. Well, thank you again so much for coming on.
Thank you,
being
guys.
our very first, our first guest from from the internet
The
world.
interwebs, yes.
From the interwebs, the World Wide Web.
yes.
Information superhighway. And we hope that you'll be back for any twin episodes or
Okay, great.
I'm sure you'll be back again. Well, Leilani, what should the good people out there do until our next episode?
Until episode 51.
Yeah.
Just, guys, you gotta stay cool.
You listen, you heard it. Straight from Leilani Scraps. You just gotta stay cool.
Just stay cool.
Thanks, guys. Bye.
Bye.
P-I-Z-Z-A. Now we're feeling kinda hungry. We got the mega munchies. Time to make our pizza as big as some countries. How much pizza do you think we can chow? More than our parents would ever allow. We're gonna make a masterpiece of pizza. A work of art like the Mona Lisa. It's gonna be high like the Tower of Pisa. But to get there, you don't need a visa. Pizza! P-I-Z-Z-A. Give me pizza! Did I happen to say I want pizza? P-I-Z-Z-A.